Let's hear from
He releases everything.
Yes,
some of them are genuine. He leaves them alone.
Your take on this, and then we'll take a break.
I have said on many occasions that I have no problems with those who raise ethical and moral challenges with analysis methodology.
Right.
Indeed, it is not exclusive to Ghana. That debate is as old as undercover journalism.
Yes.
So it's healthy, especially those who come on board from an intellectual, legal point of view. You accept that challenge, you interrogate it together. We may improve the system in terms of our governance systems and legal things. Right. So I don't have a problem. It's those who seek to criminalize and bastardize the methods as well as the person engaged in that exercise that I have difficulties with. Here we are looking at it within those contexts. See, practically, let me give you the practice of it. The cocoa smuggling agenda. First of all, it is Ghana Cocoa Board that commissioned the project. The Ghana Cocoa Board's position was that the Ghana government had stationed security personnel at those places, SERPs, immigration and police, occasionally military presence. And yet, that phenomenon of smuggling was continuing for years. That's Ghana Cocoa Board, and they write out why they are contracting you, the private agency. Now, what it means is that the state agencies or the personnel of state agencies who had been entrusted with a certain public service were not doing it. They themselves were engaged in the exercise. And that is why Cocoa Board then decides to go for an alternative agency, in this case a private undercover agency, and gives them the mandate. They go there, they do reconnaissance, sometimes 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They see, and those things too are recorded.
And people think it's just a mass. He's got a whole team.
It's a team.
Okay, go ahead.
So they see all that. They report to Cocoa Board that indeed this is what is going on. So we are going into operation. So you infiltrate. It's like you are busting a drug cartel and things. You infiltrate. You become a sleeper in there. Become virtually like a participant in order to be able to get all the evidence. That's what they did. So in this case, it was a combination of both. The officers were dealing with, cameras were there. You see, so unfortunately, one is in the way you are disclosing the methods and things. We hardly want to engage in that conversation, but it's now become very necessary from this point of view. So it's there. Then the personnel, their team, also joins and dealing with you, the personnel. So both the human being is there, and the equipment too is there. It's a combination. Indeed, the Cocoa Board thing, Anas was arrested. Yeah, and kept in cells. Then, of course, we always have a fallback position. Because here is a state agency who is mandated you to do something. Also, Children's Home. Reports, as Kofi said, came off and on that there's a child abuse. Now, he should have taken his notebook, his tape recorder, and go to the management and say, this is what I've heard. So I want to.
You are doing wrong.
You won't achieve the results.
Right.
So, yes, cameras are planted. Then you put some 2 or 3 people in there, like cleaners, they get employment and all that, and you form. Indeed, child abuse was there. The ministry eventually, 2010, the ministry held a press conference and said, yeah, I read the report, excerpts of the report here. Okay, Eurofoods, that contaminated food, the way practices that are unhygienic. He had to first get himself employed there. And then the cameras there. Once he gets in there, he can plant 2 or 3 cameras at different places, the kitchen here and there, and then he himself is there, working and observing. Sometimes 2 of his operatives have also been employed so that they can be stationed at different places. So again, it's a combination of the gadgets as well as the personnel, the human being. Now take the gadgets. As I told you, Justice Quest, for instance, he came on the radar right from that time.
2009.
Yes, right from that time. Okay,
so people were wrong when they were saying it was CJ who gave lists.
They didn't know what they were talking about. You have your code of conduct for the magistrates here. They are not supposed to engage in ex parte communication. Now, the cases that, and I won't go far because some are still on the so-called the committee of inquiry is still on. But you see, you the judge, you know your code. You know the cases before you. People come to you to discuss the cases before you outside the courtroom or the legally allowed framework. Sometimes in your house or a place you have identified that they should meet you there. Some of the judges did that. They themselves chose locations for the meeting. Now, some of the people who came...
Nasam named where he would receive the monies and all of that.
Thank you. And you know the accused persons or the litigants, rather, let me put it that way. The litigants. Some of the litigants who were making those complaints to the Tiger Eye people themselves are part of those who come to you, the judge, with operatives. You don't know. You think they are all family people.
Right.
But the litigants who know the cases have come to you.
Right.
And you are engaged in ex parte communication with them. First and foremost, there you've lost already.
Right.
But subsequent to the ex parte communication, you agree to help them by delivering justice the way they want. On basis of which then you collect gifts. And in some of the instances, the judgments were passed that way.
Right.
So
Okay.
what are we talking about?
All right. So, like Kwaku said, ex parte communication. Last week I tried to, explain and separate that clearly to sort of see what it really was. So the judges take an oath, and they have a code of conduct that says that